Hey guys, WB99. Finally come back to this video, part 3 for the bug out bag, and some of the other kit that I've got. It's been about a month and a half, so I can only apologise to you guys why it's taken so long. I've had a lot going on at work. I got my baby due in 6 weeks, so there's been 101 things running through my head, and all the prepping has just completely gone to one side. So today we're going to put it together. Part 1 was the EDC bag. Part 2 was a weapons review with the rifles, the air guns, the blades, baseball bat, etc. Everything like that. So part 3 has finally come about. The last video that came up, that was a 21-mile hike I did in Bournemouth with Aaron Darkwood. That was more of his videos that he put on, but that was pretty much the last thing I was able to do. That was just a spur of the moment. Went up there after a couple of days of making a decision to do it. I thought, sod it, I'm going to go and meet some other guys. So yeah, we're going to run through some of the gear. At the beginning, when I did start about 5-6 months ago, I did do a video of my bug out bag, but that was quite simple. It was all the little bits I put together when I first started. I was new to it all, so I didn't have a proper gear, etc. But I've come a long way 6 months later. This is personally what I think. I'm only going to show you guys some of it because there's so much of it and I can't fit into one video. I might have to do a bug out bag part 2. Also after this video as well, I'm going to be doing a separate video on my first aid kit. I'm going to give you guys a little glimpse of the first aid kit here, but it was what Trojan Prepper off of YouTube. He sent all the gear to me, the case, everything. So I want to do a proper review on that, and I'll show you guys how important first aid kit is for us preppers. It's some people take it seriously, some people don't. Personally, myself, I would rather have all the gear and know that I was able to help myself if I got injured or hurt or something, and I could help others. You know, it's a big thing to have. It's probably just as important as having water and food in your bag. You need a first aid kit. Right, anyway guys, we're going to crack on. But first of all, before I start, I'm quite, sad to say that I had a message the other day off of my mate Steve from Outdoor Review, and he's had to take a step out of prepping for quite a while now. So quite upset there. He was the first guy that I was properly in communication with, first guy I started sharing information with, and vice versa, we're communicating, gifts, etc. So he's kind of left the scene briefly, and he's going to be coming back soon. But kind of lost without him. I can't talk to him. So if you do happen to watch this, Steve, hiya mate. I hope everything's alright for you. Also, Aaron and Trojan Prepper, and a new guy that's just come onto the scene is Bar Bugger. He's on Google+. He also runs his videos on YouTube. Good bloke. So, like to say, we're all here to help you. Just ask a question and we'll try and answer it. Simple. I started off not knowing anything. I knew how to pick up a gun and knew how to use it, but I didn't know how to prep, so it's a complete difference. But yeah, ask us, we'll help you. We were in your shoes once upon a time ago, so information's there. If you can't get it off of a site or something, just ask one of us. We'll be willing to help you. Anyway guys, I'm going to crack on this bug out bag part 3. This is just a small amount of some of the stuff that I've got. Some of you would have seen this in my other videos, but you're going to see some of the other bits, newer bits that I've got. Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I had to have my own personalised t-shirt done. The Prepared to Survive with my name, WB99, on the front and on the back. So it's just for personal preference. Just me being a sad ass. Right, anyway guys, first things first is the new bag. Now, you guys would have seen my 30 odd litre bag that I was using for my EDC now. And I managed to get this off of eBay. I've put a lot of hype into it, because to me this was a perfect bargain bug out bag. $23.99 off of Military First, based in Manchester. Olive green, 66 litre bag. I got everything in there. I got a separate massive pouch at the bottom that I'll show you guys shortly. That's got all my food stories, cooking equipment, everything in there. It's got little pockets here. It's got a massive pocket at the top here where I keep my first aid kit specifically, so it's easy access. You've got massive inside storage space. I don't even know if you're going to actually be able to see it, but well, I can fit my whole arm in it, so it goes way past my elbow. So it's about that deep, so gives you guys a rough idea. It's a fairly biggish old bag. Got side pockets here. Some of the bits I ain't going to pull out because it's impossible just to repack it. I got bits in here like battery, electrical tape, duct tape, backup matches, a couple of lighters, just bits and bobs that I need. In here is my cordage pocket. I got my bungee straps and 100-foot paracord. So that's in there. It's all packed away neatly and tight, so you don't want to be fiddling around to try and get out. And yeah, like I said, I'll give you a glimpse in now actually of the food storage space, if I can get it all back when it's done. Bring the camera down here, I'll show you guys. Yeah, just to give you a rough idea, this is the bottom part. Packets of rice there, mixing with water. Got myself a little mini kettle, picked that off of eBay. My cooking stuff. I got all my condiments, my sauces, coffees. Got a few wrap packs in there, fruit muesli. There's a breakfast, lunch, and dinner in there. So it's stuff that personal preference I know I'm going to need, I'm going to use. Don't want to keep too much, but there's enough food in there to keep me going for about 2-3 days, especially if I got stuck out and about. Got enough food in there to keep me going. And when I do go out eventually, which will hopefully be this week, I'll be doing my last and final day camp for maybe about 6 months, maybe into the beginning of next year. So yeah, I'm going to be completely out of action, guys, but I will be doing my best to at least try and do some at-home videos. But outdoor day camp videos and stuff like that is going to be completely and utterly out of the question. So yeah. Right, on to the next bit. In here is a waterproof bivvy bag. This in here holds, as you guys probably would have seen before, it has got my shelter tarp. It's all got, I keep the paracords attached to it as neat as I can, so it's quick and easy for me to set up, whether it's day, night, raining or whatever, windy. It's easier for me to set up. Inside as well in the middle I've got my insulated ground sheet that you guys will have seen in my other videos that I made myself. That was a proper DIY job. It worked really well. That was just a standard ground sheet, and I got some double-sided tape, and I attached an emergency foil blanket inside. So even if I had nothing to sleep in, I've got something warm to attempt to sleep on. So it doesn't, you know, it keeps me off the cold ground a little bit and insulates some heat towards me. Next set, most important thing of all, the boots. Can't go wrong with a decent pair of boots. When I did that 21-mile hike, I definitely broke these in, I can guarantee. You guys have seen this. This is my little side pouch bag that I wear. I love this thing. You know, when I'm out and about, it holds everything for me. But as you guys knew from one of my last camp videos, this bag is my backup bag. This stays on my waist constantly if I'm out and about. Also, if I had to bug out, this would be my main backup bag. So, say for example, I was in camp and I got overswarmed by marauders or something like that, and I had to make a really quick exit and drop all my gear. I know that in here I've got something that's going to filter my water, light me a fire. I have smaller wrap packs in here with high energy food like glucose and sugar, a lot of sweets, there's Kendall mint cakes, there's coffee sachets that I also keep in here, paracetamol, tramadol and diarrhea relief tablets, and five to six ibuprofen tablets in there as well. There's about 15-20 foot of paracord in there spare. There's glow sticks. There's a mini survival book that I specifically kept in there for living off the land, because obviously if I have to ditch my bag I'm going to have nothing, so I need something to keep my memory going, to tell me what I can and can't eat. What else in there? There's a bit of kindling, which is just shards of wood that I've just scraped off, shavings. Normally I would keep the folding saw in there, so I've got to remember to put that back in there actually. That go in there as well. So it's a nice little bit of kit that I've put together, and it's got a bit of weight to it when it's quite full, but at the end of the day, if I had to ditch the heavy bag, I've got a backup bag that I know I can still run and move with that. And worst case scenario, it comes to a combat situation, I know I can still fight with that bag on. Whereas the bigger bag, I ain't got a chance, someone's going to overwhelm me, that's going to throw me off balance because of the weight of the bag, the weight of the person. Whereas my little bum pouch, I can still commit to self-defence, I can still arm myself, rearm myself, disarm someone else. If someone gets on my back, at least I can throw them off, I can do something, so it gives me a lot more advantages personally. I invested in a new belt for my trousers just before I went up to Bournemouth to do a 21 mile hike, but I'll be buying the extra pouches for that. I was looking at getting a 2.2 or a 177 sidearm, so if I ever do invest in that, I was looking at the Colt Commander. If you guys look it up, it's a standard Colt Commander, you can get it on the 177 version or the 2.2 version, and that's a semi-automatic 12-shot sidearm pistol. And I was looking at getting one of them. It's all complete metal, it's none of this plastic crap, that's what I like about it. It's solid metal, it resembles the exact same weight as the original Colt Commander firearm of the 9mm, but it's not cheap. It's about 70, 80 pounds. I think the cheapest I've come across it is my mate the Army Surplus, who's willing to do it for me at like 48 quid. But even then, it's still a lot of money. I mean, my missus has just invested in, for me, my new crossbow, which unfortunately guys, I will not be doing a video for it, because fair enough, I've done my reviews of my air guns, my baseball bat and everything else, but when it comes to the crossbow is my personal weapon, it's my secret weapon, and I don't want to be doing a review on it and kicking up a load of stink and a load of hype that people are saying, oh, you're just a typical fucking crossbow wielding prepper, you want to be like fucking Daryl out of The Walking Dead. It's none of that shit, it's nothing like that, you know. So forget the idea guys. I might put a couple of pictures on, and that's as far as you're going to get, a couple of pictures and maybe a little write up, but other than that, sorry, no video on the crossbow. Right, anyway, you guys have seen this little trench digging tool, also backup weapon. It's a little mini gun cultivator. The blades, the saw, most important, little baseball cap. Picked that up from the Army Surplus for about £3–4. Does the job, keeps the sun out, but also one with the duck low, at least I know I can still keep my head camouflaged somehow, especially if I ain't got no paint on me. We've got a glow stick that's appeared out of nowhere. That's come off the bag. I keep a glow stick attached to the outside of the bag for personal preference reasons. Thick hiking socks, great, but they're also reinforced on the heel and the toe area, so better advantage, especially for £11 for a pair. Here I've got my spare backup clothing. I've got my sheath that Steve from Outdoor Review sent me. I wore that on the 21 mile hike. Spare socks, reinforced hiking socks, same as them ones, got a spare pair of them. Spare underwear, towel for cleansing, drying off, and also just in case, you know, that if you got injured and you were bleeding heavily, you know this is going to help some way. Spare pair of trousers that Steve also sent me, and that's all. Keep that all wrapped up together, and that goes right in the bottom, out of the way. My main clothes that I will wear is the olive green t-shirt. I mean, don't get me wrong, everyone has their own different style of clothing. You got people wearing the multicam, you got people wearing the desert, you got people wearing the WB99s, you got people just going out in black, and you just got people going out in normal standard civvy clothes. It's each to their own on their personal preferences. I mean, personally, DPM camouflage, it works better for me. I go to a woodland. You know, if I was going to be planning to bug out into an urban area, I wouldn't be wearing camouflage gear. I'd probably be going in black attack gear. It's just preference to your area, what suits you, and how you plan to bug out or you plan to bug in. I mean, my basic scenario is to at least, if something did happen, whether we did have shit hit the fan or a WROL or something which is my standard ones that you guys know that I prep for, something like that happened, I'd be looking to bug in for, on average, about 4 days to 7 days, especially with a newborn baby. If I could go for 2 weeks, that's alright. I started building up a short-term like backup food storage to what we normally have anyway, because we normally have a lot of tins and stuff like that, like bottled water. Only more for the bottled water really, because for the baby, making baby milk, when the baby comes as well, I will be specifically purchasing extra cans of milk. Just put one in the cupboard, put it to one side. There's no harm in doing it, there's no harm in having it. But in the little food storage I've got, there's like dried fruit, tinned fruit, there's tinned meats, for example, bacon grill, spam, corned beef, tinned ham. There's meat stock mixes in there like you guys would have seen in my cooking video. There's tinned fruit, there's tinned vegetables, there's tinned like meals like minced beef and red wine sauce, stuff like that where you guys get a hit. But that food, I've done it in a way so it lasts me and my partner for, it will do us for 5 days. But if shit really did hit the fan and we did have to bug in further, I reckon I could stretch the meals to about 6.5 to 7 days at least, so add 1.5 days to 2 days onto it. But if we had what we normally have in the main cupboards as well, we could easily bug in for about 8-9 days without fail, and that's doing a standard probably 2. I try and look at doing 2 meals in the day, pretty much standard breakfast, because you're going to need it. You need the calories to boost up your day, you guys know that. And in the evening, get yourself a decent meal inside you. Lunchtime, fuck it off, forget about it. You're going to run through your lunch, just snack on fruit, dried fruit, stuff like that. You know, you need that main meal in the morning, main meal in the evening. But lunch is not important. I mean, I don't eat breakfast, but if I had to, I would, and ditch off lunch. But yeah, like I was saying, the personal preference for the clothing and that, I prefer DPM95 on the woodland camo, and that's why I stick to it. That's just me. I go into a woodland, that's where I plan to bug out if I have to bug out, so that's why I have it. One thing I did pick up, which is handy, because as you guys know, it's summertime now. I've pushed all my winter bugging out gear. This is why there's kind of a lot less actually. It's my winter gear, obviously. I've got my thermals, I've got my bigger jackets, my fleece jumpers, so there's a lot more to take into consideration when you're doing a winter bug out bag. You've got to change your complete clothing attire and the gear that you've got, for example. I mean, I went and bought this the other day. I've removed the tags off it because I got this for a £5 in the army surplus. It had Royal Marines Commando tags on it, so I've taken it off. I'm not a Royal Marine Commando, don't plan to be one, and I'm not exactly going to act like one, so I took it off. I only want it because it's one of the camouflage DPM summer vests. Well, not vest, but shirt. But it's lightweight, it's perfect, half zips up, perfect for tucking in. But I took the shoulder straps off, and you know, I've got them to one side. They're no good to me, I don't want them. But for the summer, especially if I had to stay out a bit later and the bugs and that, at least I know I'm not going to get too hot, but I'm not going to get too cold either, especially into the evening. I know with the top underneath and that, the shirt's going to do some good work on that. The DPM trousers, 95. As you guys know, I still keep the coat, no matter what, the coat stays in the bag as backup. There's a couple of bits here as well. I've had this now for maybe about 2 months, something like that. I went up to an army surplus. It was in Poole shopping centre, and I've never been to this army surplus, and it was a lot bigger than the one that I've normally been to, and it was a lot better as well. Guy had a lot more stuff. And this specific day, I was on the lookout for an S10 gas mask, and if I found one, I was going to buy it without fail, no questions asked. And I went into the army surplus, and the guy had one, but he wanted £60, £59.99 for an S10 and the haversack and the spare filter. Now, obviously I wanted it. I wasn't planning to go anywhere else. That was the first place I went, so that was the first place I wanted to buy it from. And I haggled this bloke down, and I got him down to about 30 quid, which was a bonus. It worked in my favour. I saved £30. I finished cleaning it up earlier because it's the first time I've actually got around to sorting it out. But yeah, had to finally get one. The S10 with the filter in, plus a spare backup sealed filter. I will be in the future invested in some more filters. This personally is just, you know, if I had to go out after bugging in and I had to leave my partner here with a child and say we were running low on supplies and I knew I had to go out, you know, this is something I would be holding on to me. One, I wouldn't want to do it if I had to do it, but it's great for intimidation, you know. It's just that look, you know, you look at someone with one of these on and straight away it's a complete intimidation act. I don't plan to do that because I'm not a fucking marauder. You know, if I had my chance, you know, it'd be going a different way of a marauder, believe me. But the key to survival, you know, sometimes you've got to do the things you don't want to do. But if there was, say for example, a collapsing, you know, martial law or a government or something like that, and they were spraying tear gas and crap like that, I know I can push through it at least, because I know I'm going to have to try and get supplies for my family. So it's handy. It's plan to get another one. Mrs needs one. That's my next protocol. As you guys would have seen in my other video, my little Bayer thing, UV5.
Frequency mode.
Multi-band transmitter. This is the first time I pulled it out of the box really, for ages actually. But I bought a new aerial for it, a new antenna, because the last one I had was just a stick antenna. I didn't like it in case it was attached to the bag and the antenna got broke, and I was pretty much bollocksed if I did need to make an emergency call. So I got this one, which is a complete coilover, and it goes, doesn't break, there's nothing, and that actually increases the frequency. So this radio has become a lot better now since that. But I keep the radio tuned in, and it is tuned into channel 16 on UHF Marine channel. My personal reason, because if I'm out and about and something did happen, you know, I can make a phone call in on this, and it's Mountain Rescue, it's Coast Guard, all the others, and I know that someone's going to be on the other end to give me a hand. But I've also got it tuned in on, because it's a dual band frequency, it's also tuned in so I can get up-to-date weather report, news report. It all goes through the Marine channel, but I still got it here. So phone's going to be no good, but a radio can give me information and get me help that I need it when I need it. You know, a lot of people think, oh, it's not really practical, but even if someone, you turn this straight into a two-way radio, so I could pick up someone else if I needed help. It hasn't just got to be channel 16 on the emergency channel. So it's there, I need it, I'm sorted. One thing, I don't know if you guys would have seen, I bought a couple of these, and they only cost £3–4 for 2 rolls off of Amazon. They're called jungle tape, and it's basically like duct tape, exactly like duct tape. It's just camouflaged, but it's called jungle tape, so you guys can see it there. And it is literally camouflaged adhesive tape. I'm kind of chucking this one, so I'm keeping one in the house and one in the bug out bag. One for medical purposes, especially if I had to do a dressing, something like that, for a repair. It's just exactly duct tape, that's all it is. It's exactly duct tape, it's just camouflaged, you know, so it's going to give me all the advantages. And last but not least is the first aid kit. Like I said, I will be doing a separate review video on this in a minute, so please watch that, because I'm going to strip it apart and completely show you guys what I've done to my first aid kit. You know, to me, my first aid kit is the most valuable thing in my bug out bag. With, you know, personally in my eyes, my bug out bag, this is my opinion, this is my decision now, no one else's but mine. Everyone has their own thing of what's their most favourite thing in their bug out bag, what's more important to them. If I had to choose some of the first things, like 5 of my favourite things, right, say 5. Number 1 is going to be my first aid kit, without a doubt. First aid kit, I need that. Number 2 is going to be my water. Number 3 is going to be my food. Number 4 is going to be my knife, which obviously you guys know, you need my knife. And number 5, most important, last but not least, is the boots. Without your boots, you're bollocksed. You know, decent pair of boots, you need a really, really decent pair of boots. That's one thing that I did financially want to invest in, was a decent set of boots, because you're on your feet, you need them, you know. And the thing is, with trying to get a cheap set of boots, you got more chance of trench foot setting in, athlete's foot, you got the potential more bacteria growing, and you guys got to think, without your feet, you're buggered, you know. I've had trench foot. When I did security, I did a music event, and for 3 days straight, I did a 36-hour shift, on and off, all the way through, and I was sleeping for about 2 hours each, about 2 to 3 hours. I would have like a nap throughout it, but still wake up. And I had a pair of boots, probably similar to that, but a lot cheaper at the time, because it was a random pair of boots I started buying on the off chance, because I had lost my other ones. And it was in the middle of a field, pissing down with rain, there was mud everywhere, and when you're tired, you're tired, and I never took any interest in the well-being of my feet. And I did get trench foot, and when I got taken into hospital in Oxford for it, they turned around to me and the doctor said, "I've been a doctor for 28 years, he goes, and I've never heard of anyone having trench foot since World War II. All the calves on my legs here were swollen and black. All my feet were completely as black as my t-shirt. I was in agony. It got to the stage at one point that I physically could not walk. And that was because of the pure fact that, 1, I bought a cheap, shitty pair of boots. 2, my feet were wringing wet, and I took no care of my feet at all. You know, I was trenching around in shitty mud, flooded water, and my boots hadn't come off my feet for 3 days. Now that's what fucked me up, because I didn't air my feet, I didn't dry my feet, and all the bacteria was growing and growing and growing and growing, and it just reacted in a way that I was very lucky that it was caught at quite an early stage. But I was in a lot of pain. I'd actually probably be burnt with, I'd rather be burnt with a fucking hot poker than having trench foot again. So yeah, remember that, guys. Decent pair of boots. At least invest about 60 to 130 pounds in a decent pair of boots. And if you can get them and you can afford them, go for a decent set of military jungle boots, because they're designed to vent out, especially in the hot heat, or a decent set of Magnums. Like a really high grade, decent set of boots, invest in them. Don't be going down the fucking shoe zone and buying a pair that look like a set that gets issued to a soldier in the army, because I know they sell them, and I've seen them. They're $14.99. They're crap. They're only going to make your feet worse. Most important thing you need is a decent set of boots. So yeah, keep that in mind. Bear that in mind. But right, guys, this was Bug Out Bag, part 3 of the series. Part 1 was EDC, part 2 was the weapons review, and part 3 is the Bug Out Bag that's just been completed. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Stay tuned, because I am doing the first aid kit review in a minute. That's going to be a separate video. I'm going to get this one finished, get it out of the way. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Some of the new gear, if you look back at my last video, like I said, some of this gear is completely new, and there are bits in here that I've had from the beginning. Just how the trail goes in the journey. Bring the stuff from the beginning and carry it to the end. But yeah, if you guys have got any comments, please share them, let me know, give us a message, give us a shout, let us know what you think, and yeah, crack on with the first aid kit review, and I shall speak to you guys shortly. Anyway, take it easy. This is Whiskey Bravo 99 out. See you later.